First, you'll need 1 yard of fabric. Cut that into two 28 by 21 pieces and two 4-inch by 42-inch pieces. Mark a 1/4 inch on the wrong side of both of the 4-inch by 42-inch strips. Using that line as a guide, create a 1/4 inch hem. Top stitch the hem so it looks nice and fancy. To create the ruffles, we'll need to change our stitch length to the longest our machine allows. Mine does a 6. You're going to want to make sure you pull the top and bottom thread and make sure it's long so you can tug on those to create your ruffles later on. And then you're going to stitch just a straight line, using a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Make sure to leave your upper and lower tail threads long. Repeat all these steps on your other 4-inch by 42-inch fabric. Now to create the ruffle. Now we're going to actually make the ruffle. First, I'm going to pin the ends of my ruffle to both sides of the pillowcase front. I have found this is the easiest way to make sure that the ruffle is the correct size. Otherwise, you could just create a ruffle that is approximately 21 inches. Now you need to take your upper and lower threads that you left long and you are going to separate them. It takes me a minute to get these separated because they got a little twisted. Create the ruffle by separating the threads and holding onto the bottom one and then gently moving your fabric towards the center. You'll see how I do this, and then I try to distribute the ruffles equally. Work from both sides. Once you are done, pin these ruffles into place. I like to do a pin that faces parallel to the seam, 1 inch away from the seam I'm gonna do, just so then I can leave my pins in as I sew. After you finish this, we're gonna take this back to the sewing machine. You're gonna sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance using a stitch length of 2 or 2.5. Make sure to backstitch to lock in your stitches before going forward at both the top and the bottom of the ruffle. Remove your ruffle seam. Finish the edges with either an overlock or a zigzag stitch. Press your seam allowance away from your ruffle and now do a 1/4 inch top stitch along the pillow front. Repeat on the other pillow front. Now align your pillow faces right sides together. You're going to want to line them up and then you are going to start pinning them to keep them together. Make sure to pin them in the corners and then on your seam allowances of the ruffles and at the corners of the ruffles. Now we are going to sew all the way around the pillowcase, excluding the side with the ruffles. We start in the corner of one of the ruffles using a 1/2 inch stitch again. Don't forget to backstitch. Stitch around the 3 sides of the pillow, excluding the ruffle side. Removing your pins as you go and making sure that your ruffle seams line up. Once again, when we get to that edge, we're going to make sure that it lines up and we're going to backstitch. Next, use a zigzag stitch or a overlocker to secure your raw edges. This helps prevent fraying. Do this all the way around the pillowcase, excluding the ruffled end. Flip your pillowcase so it is now right side out. Add a pillow and enjoy your ruffled pillowcase.